Hey, I'm Monica.
I'm Candace.
We're Glass Over Teakettle.
We think.
Yeah. What are we doing today?
Today we're going to work on cutting out the specific pieces for the horizon pattern that we've been working on in other videos.
Yeah, let's get started. All right, welcome back to our channel. We're so glad you're here. And like we said, today we're going to be cutting very specifically to the pattern we've been working on. Where can they find this?
So the pattern's linked in the description below. We've also made several videos about how to prep your pattern for this on your glass and glass selection.
Yeah.
So if you haven't been following along, make sure you go back and check out those videos as well.
Yeah, it'll just make more sense if you see how we got to this place where we have all of our pieces numbered and traced onto the glass, and today we're going to cut. We did do a little 101 cutting video recently. What were some of if they don't have time to watch it, what are some of the tips that they need?
The quick 101 rundown. First of all, make sure you're cutting on the smooth side of your glass. You don't want to try to cut on the textured side unless you like punishment.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Some glass is textured on both sides. Try to find the smoother side. Also, make sure your glass is clean. You guys, sticker residue, dust, grime, whatever. You don't want to compromise your tools by trying to cut over that. So make sure you clean your glass first if you haven't already.
Yeah, and the other thing is make sure you cut from edge to edge on the glass. You don't want to stop in the middle. You don't want to lift your cutter up or try to go back and forth, as much fun as that seems. It won't work. You want to make sure you cut from edge to edge to get the smoothest break possible.
Yeah, find the best line on that piece of glass and commit. Edge to edge, don't lift. And you have to try to limit the direction. Again, we're hand cutting in this studio. We don't have fancy tools, ring saws. There's even tools that help you cut a perfect circle. We're doing it by hand. We tend to find the straightest lines possible, and we're going to show you how to do that today. So the first piece of glass I'll show you a little up close and personal is the piece I picked for my water pattern, piece number 9. I picked this beauty. So let's show you guys exactly how I'm going to cut this out. All right?
And the piece that I chose...
What did you pick, Candace?
Yeah, let's see.
What'd you pick?
The piece that I'm going to show you how to cut out is some of the rays. That's what they're called, rays.
The light, yeah. I just want to turn it over.
I'm just going to show you the most effective way to cut out this textured glass and conserve as much glass as possible so you don't waste a bunch.
You're brave to do this on camera because this, you guys, this is textured.
It's like a washboard.
Make sure you're cutting on the correct side. All right, let's show them that up close and personal.
All right.
Okay, so I'm going to cut number 9, the water part of my pattern. I'm going to put on goggles because glass bits. I am going to put on a protective glove on my left hand. My right hand's my cutting hand. I tend to just have the glove on one hand where I'm touching the glass. So I have my tools, my cutter, and I use Groziers usually for this. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, go back and watch our tool video in Cutting 101. We'll link that video. Okay, I also have my scrap bucket here for all of my scraps. We keep all of our scraps in this studio. We use them. We make little resin ornaments with all of our scraps. It's kind of cool. It's a great way to reuse and recycle every piece, and we give all the money from those ornaments to charity. But that's not why we're here. We're here to cut. So I wanted you to know where my scraps are heading. That's why. Okay, so I have some glass I want to save. So I'm going to try to be conservative with my cuts. Let me show you my line. Let me grab a marker. My plan for this is to do the straight line. That's obvious. But then this curve, I'm going to do 2 straight lines. I'm probably going to cut like that. Hopefully you can see that. And then I'm going to cut like that. So when I do curves, I tend to square around the circle as many times as I need to, and then I only have little triangles afterwards to deal with. So let me show you. I'll start with my straight line first, starting with my cutter at one edge, holding the glass with the other, applying pressure. Best sound in the world. Going to the other edge, and I'm going to just use the tapping method. I'll show you two methods. If you can start by tapping and then finish with Groziers, or you can tap till it falls off. If you're using Groziers, bring your Grozier right to your score line. Hold your glass carefully with the other hand, as low to your mat as possible, and then pull apart. Okay, now this is not for my scrap bucket. This is a beautiful piece I'll probably use for like a plant leaf or something later. So I'm gonna hang on to that. Next is this dotted line to get this circle figured out. Tap, 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 tap. Save this big piece. Next is this dotted line. I'll just show you Groziers for another way if you don't tap. I'm pulling apart, like out and down. So I'm pulling out and down. You ready? Say it with me. Out and down. Okay, now this little guy, this triangle that's sticking out here, that will go in my scrap bucket. It'll be a slight curve. That's okay. I'm going to tap that to make sure my break goes where I want it. Tap first, then finish off with Groziers. And I have a little piece here that didn't score. Did you see that? There's my score mark, and when I broke it earlier, I missed this. I didn't even notice that. So I'm gonna bring my Groziers right to that score line and get rid of that. Now I'm stuck with just a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here. Hopefully you can see that. These three triangles. I could just grind them. We really like our grinder, and we tend to try to save it the workload on it by using better cutting. So I'm going to cut those off. And then I'm just going to Grozier them away. I don't know if you saw those little pieces in the air, so that's exactly why I wear goggles. Sorry, I was banging on the scrap bucket and the camera might have shaken. But anyway, now I have my water piece and it's gonna sit there, and I'll move on to my other pieces. But first, we'll have Candace, why don't you show them how you're gonna deal with your textured glass on some of your sunbeams.
All right, so I'm gonna show you how to cut these out and conserve as much glass as possible. So just like Monica, I wear one glove on the hand that I'm not cutting with. This is the hand I use for leverage for breaking, so I like to have some protection from the glass. Sometimes it'll splinter and it's just not fun to get in your hand. And then I'm also gonna put on my goggles. Safety first, people. All right, so what I'm gonna do to cut this piece of glass is, to get these three pieces out, I wanna conserve as much glass as possible. So I could, if I was really confident and this wasn't super textured glass, I could kind of curve a line down to cut this out, but I don't think that's gonna break right with this texture. So what I would do is I'm actually gonna cut the straightest line I can to conserve as much glass as possible. So let's see how that goes. So we're gonna cut a straight line here so I can keep all of this. So I'm gonna do the same thing. Here's my cutter. We're gonna go from edge to edge, a little bit of pressure. Best sound in the world. And I am gonna tap. And that broke exactly how I wanted it to. So now I have just this to work with, and I get to save all of this glass for a different project. So now to get these three pieces out, I'm gonna want to cut as straight a line as possible. So I think the best place to go first is straight on this number 4 here. And I used Monica's cutter last time. Don't hold it against me. So we're gonna go straight on number 4. And I'll tap that one out as well. So now I have number 2 all by itself, and then 4 and 6 are on 1. To separate these, I think the most effective way would be to come across here. So we're gonna do that. And now I have 3 separate pieces of glass. Yay, success! So I will finish up by showing you how to finish number 4. We'll get this curve cut out and finish off that straight line. So we'll come and do the straight line first. And I'm going to use Groziers on this. Get them right up to that score line, which I know isn't very visible on this glass. We're going to get it right up to that score line, and like Monica said, pull out and down. And then for this little curved part on the top, all I have to do is nip that little bit off. So I'm just going to cut a small curve along the line. Groziers again right up to that score mark, and pull out and down. That goes in the scrap bucket. Number 4 can go on number 4 on the pattern. And there's one piece of horizon.
Okay, we cut. That was fun.
That was exciting. We love cutting.
Cutting, I say every step is my favorite. Next week's step is grinding, and it's definitely my least favorite.
Agreed.
So there's that.
Yeah.
But we'll show you some tricks to make it not so unpleasant.
Yeah, most of which usually for us involves blasting music. So.
Yes! I wish we could have music on for these videos, you guys. Oh my God, we have been jamming this week. So we cut horizons. Yeah, if I hold that at an angle, it'll slide.
There slides in right now.
Slides in horizon. Whoa. Okay, so thank you for being here. I just want to repeat, we are not experts, okay? There's a lot of stained glass people out there that can teach you a lot better than we can. Maybe they use different tools and methods, but we love what we do. We've made over 1,000 pieces together over the years, and we thought we would make some behind the scenes videos for all the folks that requested it.
Yep.
So we're glad you're here. Follow along. What are the other YouTube things?
Yeah, if you're new here, make sure you like and subscribe and ring the notification bell so you'll get notified anytime we post something. We try to post new videos every Wednesday.
Yeah.
And if you're not new here, thanks for coming back. We appreciate all of you, and we're so happy you're here.
Yeah. So once again, I'm Monica.
I'm Candace.
We're Glass Over Teakettle.
This time we're sure we're Glass Over Teakettle.
Glass Over Teakettle. If you don't know what our name means, watch our very first video where we explain it.
Yep.
And we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Ooh. Bye.